Well, hello there, my Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Twin Flame reading for January, February 2020, though timeless. Whenever you come across it is when you are meant to see it, and I am your reader. At least for the moment, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and earth sign. I am a Virgo. Virgo sun, born on a full moon, got a Pisces moon, got a Leo rising. So I think I'm pretty well equipped to be reading for y'all today, considering I started when I was 12 years old reading tarot. I am 52 this year come September. So I know you Capricorns like that Saturnian, long-term durability, professional kind of deal, and you found one. The difference is I'm the fun one. So let's get down to business. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe, because I am one of the fun ones on YouTube. That being said, I am making my way to 1,000 subscribers so that I can monetize, so that I can do super live chat, and I have made a promise to my subscribers that once I hit 1,000, maybe another, 2 or 3 over, just to make sure, that I will do a little ditty called Drunk Tarot once a month for the first couple of months, just for entertainment purposes only, but I did a video on it called Clarifying Drunk Tarot. It's in the description box below. Please do check it out. It is my favorite video of 2019 of everything that I did. Wasn't even a reading, right? It was a clarification. But I think if you watch it, you will get why you want me to do Drunk Tarot and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Cool. Let's get down to the business of this reading. However, this is a general reading, right? I hear readers say it all the time on YouTube. You just can't read all of the people all of the time, right? You can only get themes and variations within a quantum field according to zodiacal correspondence with planetary placement. In this case, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, right? So that's why I do Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, so that you can check your other planetary placements in the 12 different signs of the zodiac. In other words, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Your earth sign, in one way, shape, or form, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this unless you're a cross-watcher. Pay attention to what's going on in your body. While the reading happens, it will tell you, your body will tell you what's yours and what isn't. I mean, we've really over-mystified intuition, considering everybody has intuition. Intuition is not a gift, it's a skill. Go ask Caroline Mace, whose cards we're going to be starting with, the archetype cards. Sacred Contracts, all of her work just been so beneficial to my life, just as a person on the path as well as a spiritual teacher, right? So take what resonates, leaves what doesn't, because this, my darling caps, is a twin flame read, different than a soulmate read. Why are they different? Well, on YouTube, I see them being conflated all the time. They are not the same thing. A twin flame and a soulmate, well, what they have in common is they are both relationship-based soul contracts, meaning that before you came into this body, you were chosen to play the role of living in this body with whatever name you incarnated with or have changed since, right? And in this incarnation, written into the script of the divine plan, there are certain relationship patterns, certain things that you have to learn, certain things that you have to heal. And so the souls that come into the bodies to play the roles agree ahead of time. It's like, all right, whatever we have to fucking do to do this. Now, the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate are the basis or the foundation of the soul contract. In a soulmate, you help each other heal, and they're soothing and satisfying and symbiotic and sumptuous. And by the way, not just romantic, sexual. You have lots of soulmates in every lifetime, right? You help each other heal. Look to your friends, right? Twin flames, not so much. Twin flames are turbulent, tumultuous, tricky, triggery, but transformative, hence the element of fire. Right, my witches? I've got witches. What's our element of fire about? Transformation, choices, and decisions. So the twin flame contracts teach you how to love yourself, teach you how to heal yourself, teach you how to set boundaries, teach you a lot about yourself. And again, like soulmates, not just sexual or romantic. You can have many of them. And the best example that I have is the one that I quite literally carnated into. My mother and I are very much soulmates, right? We've helped each other heal. Since before I was even born, I was helping my mother heal. My father and I, twin flames. He wanted a Catholic, Republican, heterosexual son, which he sort of got with my older brother Matthew. But, you know, I'm Mark, so there would have been Luke and John if my parents had stayed married. Thank God for divorce. What if they were girls? Nightmare. But my father and I loved him dearly, but I was never going to be able to be the son that he really wanted, right? And he was never really going to be the father that I wanted, but he was the one I needed. In other words, he's the one that gave me what I needed to work on and look at within my own self. That's why I did go to therapy. Essentially, anything my father wouldn't do, I did. Both shadow and light. Had some fun doing it too, but therein lies twin flame. Context. By the way, he died the summer between high school and college for me, so it was definitely a transitional summer, right? So I will always love my dad. You can always love whoever the twin flame person is. It just means you can't give each other what you want by contract. It's just the way it's written. It's nobody's fault, really. That's why forgiveness, it's more just about healing. So if you can use the relationship, you can totally be married to a twin flame. But if you really get, oh my God, that's the nature of this contract, I love them, and I don't have to leave them. I just need to give myself the love that they can't, or perhaps negotiate a different kind of relationship with the person, which nowadays seems to be happening left, right, and center. So there are options. In other words, you don't have to torch the house just because it's a twin flame contract. Cool. Now, because it is a contract read, I was raised by a divorce lawyer. My mother divorced my father, married her divorce lawyer. They're still married. It happened when I was 2 years old. I think it was a smart move. Zeus and Hera, as I call them, my parents. Growing up in a litigious environment, I know how to read a contract, at least the basics of it. We have a party A and a party B, which we're going to be calling divine feminine, divine masculine. It is not about bodily gender at all. It's about energetic dynamic. I myself, born into a masculine male body. I got body hair, I got the Sicilian body hair, as well as other attributes. Let's leave that there. But do consider myself a divine feminine. A, gay man. B, intuitive, which really intuitive should be A, but you know what I mean. I'm wearing eyeliner, mascara, and pressed powder for y'all. Why? Because I am on YouTube and no one needs to be shiny and have invisible eyelashes. Divine feminine. Pisces moon, Virgo sun, divine feminine, right? But it's all in a fluid percentage, right? Because when I'm dating a guy, I'm like daddy top all of a sudden. Divine masculine, right? So figure out which one you are by how it feels, but remember it's a twin flame, so there might be mirroring going on. Just take what resonates, even if it's on both sides of the table. Lastly, please remember to breathe. That as you breathe and stay in the present moment, and I'm doing the same, we're both tuning to the same source in still point. See that moment when you breathe? It's that pause between the inhale and the exhale, or the exhale and the inhale. It's like, boop, there you are. It's like boop at a cat's nose, right? Boop, there it is. That's where the reading's coming from. All I'm doing is translating it verbally and through divination system. If you're tuning to the same present moment, then you're tuning to the same energy, the same reading that I'm doing, most likely, because you're watching me, right? And breathing. So you're going to get the energy inside of you in a more intuitive way. So you'll be able to feel not only what works for you, what doesn't, what's for you and what isn't in a general reading, but which one you are and what to do with it. Cool? Let's get down to it. Nice deep breath, please. Still point. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, 2 cards. One for the divine feminine and one for the divine masculine in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for January 2020, though timeless. Please, 1 card. What is the dominant archetype? The soul power being alchemized from lead to gold in this divine feminine in this Capricorn contract we're looking at. Same thing for the divine masculine. What's his dominant archetype? What's the soul power being alchemized from lead to gold in this Capricorn? Twin flame contract, January, February 2020. Timeless. Now, before I flip these over, archetypes are neutral. Always have to say it. Because I read the shadow side, what's written on the card first, and it freaks people out. Well, as dark as any shadow is in an archetype is as brilliant as the light is. And the converse is also true. There are archetypes that sound so light and sparkly and lovely that you run towards them, and then you realize the shadow side's no fucking picnic. In fact, it's a bag of ants. It's just horrible, right? So therein lies the work. Why I'm doing this, before I flip these cards, is because get that this is what the soul contract is for. Your soul's contracted to heal this within yourself through the context of this relationship, but you can't help each other heal. So take what you can, heal what you can for you. Here we go. Who's our not so happy couple? Well, there's a combo I never thought I'd see. The Divine Feminine Beggar. Like I said, don't freak out. That's one of those that sounds horrible at first glance because we see it through the lens of the shadow automatically. But the light is really brilliant. And for the, by the way, the Beggar archetype, I think, is the wild card family, so you never quite know what to expect with the wild card family. And the other, for the Divine Masculine, is also a wild card family archetype, though you would think it was the feminine family. It's not. The Femme Fatale. Now, the Femme Fatale, for a Divine Masculine, remember, this is not about bodily gender or gender roles. But we essentially have two wild cards on the table, which for Capricorn, that doesn't scream Capricorn to me, wild cards, right? Y'all are usually, well, grounded, earth signs, but also slow and steady wins the race. I say that every time I talk about Capricorn. I've known a bunch throughout my life. Very solid, very dependable, and willing to work for something long-term. More lifetime than reason or season. More season than reason. You get what I'm feeling there? So as I read these, tune into this. This Beggar archetype, I want you to really try and remember to breathe through this, because we're going to do the shadow first, like I said. Here we go. Shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. Now, is that emotional dependence? Is that physical dependence? Is that mental dependence? Is that spiritual dependence, right? Is it all of it? Is it 6 of one, half dozen of the other, so to speak? That we are all dependent at one point or another in our lives. So as I just said, is this reason, season, or lifetime? Sometimes you're sick as a dog, right? Your expiratory functions, your excretory functions, just everything's on go, right? Literally. And gee, you need someone to pick you up some fucking NyQuil or whatever it is, or drive you somewhere. That's dependency. This is talking about a chronic problem here, a shadow, dependency on others, and here's the part of the contract, to the exclusion of effort. Look, everybody does the best that they can, but in the shadow, something you wouldn't want anybody to know, it's like, no, I just want everybody to do everything for me, and I don't want to have to do anything in return. Tricky. So you go, got it, the shadow. Listen to the light, because it's actually longer than the shadow. Light attribute confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, which says, okay, I have to look at surviving in this world as a means of empowerment. How is it happening for me in this way to empower myself? That's confronting it, saying, okay, what are the challenges? How do I have to choose to empower myself or make life-changing decisions to empower myself in order to survive? Awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. That's really what's being birthed out of the beggar experience. And just the spiritual authority, the authority that you have over your own spirit to be humble. Now, humility is a whole conversation that I've been teaching about for years. People have said, oh, you're so arrogant, you're so arrogant. I'm like, no, bitch, I ain't arrogant. I'm confident. I've been doing this shit forever. I know what I'm good at. I am a Virgo. But I know that I don't know everything, right? Humility, to me, the grace of humility. I wrote a book called Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. It's on my website. Go check it out. The reviews are really good. It's helped a lot of people. But the very first grace I talk about is the grace of humility. The maiden grace, right, of the maiden of humility. Oh, great maiden, please grant me the grace of humility to know that I do not know when I do not know, because chances are I do not know. but I am willing to be shown, and somehow there's a plan in all of this that I am playing a role in, whether I know it or not, right? So that kind of spiritual authority to say, I have no idea why this is happening, but there is some sort of spiritual authorship here that I can play my role, right? And from that, of course, comes compassion to yourself, compassion for others, as well as self-esteem, because you get, well, the gods are taking notice of me because they're putting me in a situation where I have to confront and empower myself. There's a purpose here. Don't know what it is, humility, but I'm willing to play along. And please, in a twin flame contract, it's a very holy, in a way, H-O-L-Y, archetype to have here, particularly dealing with the femme fatale. Now, did you hear the change in my voice? I got a touch of the femme fatale. Ooh, way back in the unconscious mind. It's closer than you think. I love the femme fatale. Morticia Adams, done. Right? Elvira, there we have it, right? The fatal female, Matahari et al. So the now for a divine masculine, remember, this can be a woman, a female body. This can be a male body, right? Here we go, the shadow attribute. Inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. Me? No. Well, let's just say the 80s. The 80s, the 90s, my spiritual path sort of took care of her, the shadow side of that for me. Inappropriate use of sensuality. It doesn't say sexuality, it says sensuality, right? No bodily fluids need to be exchanged, but you know, when you're using your sensuality to get something for an agenda you don't want anybody else to know about, we're dealing with the femme fatale here, an attachment to money and power. In other words, well, it doesn't matter, I'll kill if I have to get what I want, money and power. Light attribute, right? Like how fucking toxic. But listen to the light attribute. Highlights the erotic energy of the feminine. Now think about that. Erotic feminine energy in a masculine body, right? It is that receptive. It's that come to me. It's that magnetism, right? If we can take yin and yang, masculine and feminine, out of bodily gender that way, we would see how we are a fluid percentage of both of those, right? Always shifting and fluxing from experience to experience and relationship to relationship. Last part, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected, right? So absolutely. And it's funny because here we have really the word dependence, right? When your dependency is rejected. So there's a little coinky-dink with those two there. So even if her, again, could be a male, but we're going to say divine masculine, him, that's a little tricky with the verbiage femme fatale male, but masculine, I'll get there. Our divine feminine masculine, our divine masculine femme fatale, that's tricky. Definitely has that power here that when if things are rejected, they have that sensuality, that ability to sort of heal their own heart and move on, right? Because they got the goods, so to speak. All right, that was a lot for those two. And I think that the variation of the two is so different. They just seem different, even though I believe they're the same archetypal family, that you should be able to know which one is which in terms of which one you are. But remember, mirroring can happen. To help clarify, we are taking the love pack, Chuck Spezzano. We divided the pack in half of it being the suit of problems. We're going to find out what's the current problem going on in this contract at the Mo, and what is the piece of luck, healing, or grace to help you deal with it. Now remember, whatever it is, this is about you helping you learning how to heal, how to love, how to embrace, etc. So we're going to start with the problem suit. Nice deep breath. Still point. Oh, my ascended masters of twin flame contracts, please. What's the problem here in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for January, February 2020 or timeless, please? What's the problem here? Face down, as always. I will. Down over there. And please, my masters of twin flame contract, same thing. Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract January, February 2020 or timeless. What's the piece of luck, the piece of grace or the piece of healing for this contract where it is right now. Let's look. Okay, manipulation. So the problem being manipulation. Now, who's manipulating who? Too early to tell, right? With this going down when we do the timelines next. That should give some hints for sure. But remember, there's self-manipulation as well. It's like how you pull your own strings. Are you letting other people pull your strings? Are you pulling someone else's, right? So many ways, and literally manipulation in that sense. So this isn't just about the shifting of the mind, right? The meditation, that sort of mental manipulation or prayer work. This is psychologically pulling some strings here. And so what is the luck card? Sensuality, interestingly enough. So I'm going to say with the Femme Fatale and the sensuality card, this reading is getting more sensual, sexual as we go. Perhaps with the beggar begging for attention, begging for and being manipulated by the Femme Fatale. Now, could that reverse? Could the beggar be the one who's doing the manipulating? Possible, anything is, but that's the way it's feeling to me at the moment. Not to paint the divine masculine as a villain, but it is the Femme Fatale. Just saying that the opportunity for both of them to heal here is huge. But there's something lucky about the sensuality. In other words, the sensuality card isn't about saying, you shouldn't be doing that. It's saying, no, like, tune into what is happening with the five senses. Particularly, we associate this with the feeling of touch, right? Is that what's going on here? This is a Capricorn contract. So is that part of the lucky part of this, that's a way that you can look at it? It's like, oh, you're manipulating me through the sensuality and I'm going for it because I really need to be touched. Because you know what? Earth signs aside, which is hard to say, everybody needs to be touched. I mean, there are those who don't want to be touched. That's a different context, right? That's boundaries, fine, we're down with it. Cool, you don't want to be touched? I don't violate fucking people's boundaries on purpose. Shit, you're going to cross the line every now and again not knowing. You do the best you can. That's why I pray every day and bless people silently wherever I go, right? Just bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. You do the best that you can. Best protection ever, by the way, when you walk the high road in such a holy and somewhat sarcastic light. So very interesting thing here. Very, very interesting thing we got on the table. A beggar and a femme fatale with manipulation and sensuality. I think you know if this is your twin flame contract or not. It's a little specific. So what we're going to do to clarify, we're going to get two cards from the Healing with the Angels Oracle. Doreen Virtue. Doreen Virtue. Angels, 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 angels. Bless her heart. You know, she's not in the biz anymore, but bless her heart anyway. The Healing with the Angels Oracle, because they are named that, we're going to get one for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine in terms of, well, what are the angels that are with them and what's the healing, so to speak, right? Nice deep breath. Sorry, my banana curl wants to come out and play. Angelic antenna. Still point. If I can make the angels giggle, it's a good day. My angels, please, two cards, one for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine in this Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising Venus sign, Twin Flame contract, January, February 2020 or timeless. One for the Divine Feminine, beggar, please. Whoa, she jumped right out. We're putting that puppy face down. Ooh, a one for the Divine Masculine, Femme Fatale, please, in this Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising Venus sign. Twin Flame, January, February 2020 contract or timeless. Who's helping to heal? Interesting, she's got celebration, which you wouldn't associate with a beggar, right? Like off the top of your head, celebration, but it does speak of a completion and a rite of passage. And the Femme Fatale has balance. Now, whether that's masculine, feminine balance, which would make sense because we've got the Femme Fatale in the Divine Masculine role. So that's tricky, but only if you think of it, unless you don't think of it as like, the Femme Fatale, yes, can sit back and be magnetic, but usually there's a mode of seduction, which is very Divine Masculine, action-oriented. Yes, she could flirt from across the room, but usually with Femme Fatales, there's a whole strategy in place in order to conquer, so to speak, and kill. Because it used to be the fun was in the capture and kill in another place and time. I did it all for thrills. Love me and I'll leave you. I told you at the start. I had no idea that you would tear my world apart. If you know the song and the singers, please comment in the box. You have to be Generation X to know that. Okay, one would think. So look, we've got celebration and balance here, that the beggar really has the opportunity to sort of like graduate from something, even have the full moon in the sky here, and this angel sort of like in goddess position drawing down the moon, that there is a thing here where maybe the empowerment, that this is their opportunity to celebrate in humility who they are, to self-esteem and empowerment. What was the other word on here? The spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. A real alchemy here to celebrate that, but very much like, so celebrate who you are, beggar. You are worth it in the divine feminine context of this contract. I mean, we're all worthy of love. We are love. That's the paradox of the whole thing. And the divine feminine, the divine masculine femme fatale, damn, that's hard to say, in balance, that has the ability to heal and balance, so that it's not so much the shadow, which it's hard to avoid the gravity of that shadow with this archetype, but rather to bring that gently into a balance, right? Highlighting the erotic energy of this divine masculine's own feminine energy, the magnetism, and opening their heart when their dependency has been rejected, because perhaps the divine feminine beggar is sort of moving on, right? Celebration. But we'll be able to find balance here somehow. I don't know, I think that calls for a nice sip of coffee, don't you? Not to be rude, to drink without offering you any, but I'd have to throw it at the camera, and that's probably not great. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to take the Daughters of the Moon Tarot and take 3 cards, past, present, future, simple timeline, to represent the voices of the goddess, the divine feminine, for the divine feminine, seeing where she has been, is now, and is headed in this contract. We're going to do the same thing with the mythic tarot for the divine masculine, using the voices of the god, right? So half the divine feminine, half of the universal energy speaking on this side, half of the other half, the masculine side on this. Cool? Like 2 terminals of a battery. I'm going to need you to breathe. Still point. My goddesses, please. 3 cards. Past, present, future for this divine feminine beggar archetype with celebration. Where has she been in this twin flame contract? Considering January, February 2020, where has this divine feminine been in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract? Where has she been? There we go. Where is she now in this twin flame contract? Where is she headed in this twin, that one, twin flame contract? Heard that. That was very clairaudient. You say, that one. Gotcha. We're just going to do the divine masculine while we're here, and then I'll read them straight across. Nice deep breath. Still point. My gods, please. 3 cards, past, present, future, for this divine masculine femme fatale archetype in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for January, February 2020, though timeless if needed. Where has he been in this contract? Where is he headed in this contract? Where is he headed? Where is he now in this contract? That's the way I called them. That's the way I'm laying them down. We'll see if those 2 need to flip back. Not the first reader to do it ever. All right, let's have a look-see-dooksy. Where has she been? We've got the beggar here with celebration. And it does feel like that celebration comes as a result of what's called a reversal, the Hanged Man, of seeing things differently, of sacrificing her point of view, perhaps even in that beggaring, right, of just seeing this whole thing so differently, really turning this around to the light attribute, confronting empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakening the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. I don't know, I have a really good feeling about this divine feminine here with this beggar archetype, that it's not just immediately the horror that comes to mind where someone has to beg for anything, but perhaps has a history of it for a season, if not a lifetime, maybe just for a reason, only this contract. But that's good to see, right? There is freedom, there is liberation. If you know the card, I mean, you know the card probably from other readings, but in this deck, what I love what Fiona Morgan did here is she has the woman hanging upside down with her eyes closed. You know, like she's stressed, she's hanging out, right? But in the reflection in the water, her eyes are open and there's a bit of a smile there, right? So something lighter going on. So a clearer interior world as a result of surrendering the way somebody sees things, right? There's always surrender and sacrifice with that card, but remember, it's voluntary. That's why they hang by the feet, or in this case the knees, not the neck, right? It's not corporal punishment. Where is she now in this? Well, second major arcana card, the Sun, and we know the Sun is the happiest card in the deck. It is, particularly Amaterasu, right? Japanese goddess of the sun, really bringing light and joy, right? Not just that happiness, joy, the joy of being, life force, blessing, all of that going on. So truly, particularly that it's sitting right under the card of celebration, like really feeling that things are pretty good for her. Where is she headed? I'm not going to call this a total womp womp, but womp womp. It's the Storm, the Five of Cups. We know the Five of Cups. We don't always like the Five of Cups. But keep in mind, it's not the end of the world, right? It's not the Great Flood. It's a storm warning. Storms clear the air, right? Think of all the toxins that it pulls out of the air after a good downpour. It's going to clear the skies, right? It's going to make things clearer. An emotional outburst as a result of change. Now, this does feel very scheduled, and it might be a bit abrupt, particularly going from the sun to the storm. I mean, from a sunny day and all of a sudden dark clouds and high winds, unless that is a result of what she learns, what she experiences in this place of clarity, because the Sun card often casts truth/light on a subject, particularly if you've been surrendering the way that you see things, and it might cause some emotional turbulence. But it's only a 5. Will be lived through, and usually you're better on the other side of it. Let's look at the divine masculine femme fatale. Where has he been? Interesting. Recent past, 5 of Swords. So a lot of mental conflict, maybe a bit of arguing within the self or with someone else, really sort of trying to get their mind straight on things, but needing a change of mind. Remember, 5s are always about change. So fire, earth, air, water, doesn't matter. It's about change, different than transformation. The wind may change direction. It doesn't transform into something other than wind. See what I'm saying? Changing form, that's just changing direction. Where is he now? Page of Pentacles. Now, yep, just checking. First real earthy card in the deck so far, at least in terms of tarot. So an immature offering. Now, immature doesn't mean necessarily childish. It just means it's like, I don't know, handing someone a seed instead of an ear of corn, right? You know, here, go plant this and, you know, wait. But it not necessarily a bad thing, a seed. Something with potential, but something physical. Usually a physical offer of some kind, keeping in mind that pages deliver messages. That's why you could call him the messenger, or her for that matter, the messenger of Pentacles. I forget who this is in the mythological tarot. They tell you who each person is, each character in mythology. Don't remember for the Page of Pentacles at the moment, but definitely that sense of it may very well be a healthy one, but an egg, not a chicken, right? An acorn, not an oak. Interesting for a femme fatale, and that leads him, I have to remember to say him, to the Hierophant. Now, what's interesting, Hierophant, yeah, people will say commitment and marriage and stuff like that, and maybe that's true. I mean, a femme fatale who wants to commit to something, to herself, to her own, it's hard to say divine masculine femme fatale. That's really clashing the hemispheres of my brain together, but that's a good thing. But definitely something hierarchical. Definitely, this is Chiron, the wounded healer. So a step-by-step, like I think process healing, like psychology, but also has its spiritual initiatory part of that too. High priest, right? The Hierophant, the high priest. Here, the wounded healer, the Centaur, Chiron. But to think of that being initiated by our old wounds, that perhaps through a healing process, he, I can remember that, he has this opportunity to take something and bring it through stages of maturation to hopefully his own healing, his own benefit, and his own spiritual evolution. So we've got sort of mental arguments that have led him to this place of this new yet immature, not anywhere near fully developed opportunity or message that leads to some sort of procedural, step-by-step, hierarchical commitment to healing or process of healing and growth. Makes sense for a twin flame. And does feel, oh yeah, it feels very, very, very Capricorn, right? That step-by-step, procedural, first degree, second degree, third degree, you know, whatever the process is. We have two more cards to hit the table. It's a very, I can feel the turbulence there of the storm, right? The need for the Hierophant there with what's going on, with this card of manipulation and sensuality. There's a lot going on here. For the Divine Feminine, I'm glad she's got the Angel of Celebration. Oh, okay, so now the Hierophant card makes sense. That from this place of arguing the Five of Swords, the Angel of Balance, bringing them into a more step-by-step thing. Like if you have lower back pain, how you have to strengthen the abdominal wall, well, you don't do that all at once, right? That's more than sit-ups. I'm more of a yoga. You know, I had a career in dance, so my warm-ups are a little bit of everything. As most dancers are going, yeah, I know. A little ballet one day, a little vinyasa the next. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to ask the higher selves of all involved, in other words, the higher self of the beggar and the femme fatale, to pick one card out of this deck to illuminate something in the contract. What I love about this deck, the Whispers of Love Oracle, is that it sometimes tells you exactly what you need to do. Like, I don't tell people what to do, but I love when the cards do. Because I didn't fucking write them. Nice deep breath. Oh, that feels good. The higher selves of all involved, please. One card for this Capricorn collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract, January, February 2020, timeless reading. Timeless contract, Twin Flame reading. Please, what is the whisper of love that would be most helpful, that either one of them who watch this would benefit from it and be able to heal themselves, love themselves, learn whatever it is they need to learn from this contract? This card always makes me laugh. Turn on your heart light, right? Gotta open your hearts. Fuck, gee, it's a twin flame contract. You have to open your hearts. What do you know? Love is the answer. Well, it's gonna be, but to love yourself, turn on your heart light. The Neil Diamond card. Allow yourself in this moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love. And what happens when you reflect on a time when you experienced love? Well, you're going to feel something. Will your heart immediately, glow like E.T.'s finger? That's an image. Or is it going to bring up sadness? Whatever happens when you do that, think of it as a child in your heart, the inner child as the heart chakra, and talk to it. And go, oh, honey, I'm sorry that upset you. Or if the heart opens, you go, there you are. Hi, sweetheart. I love you. That's inner child work. That turning on your heart light, whatever it takes for you to open your heart for yourself, because what you're doing is that still point to the divine that you are. We are love. We are the quantum field. There is only one of us. There's only one of us manifested as the multiplicity of it all. But love is the only essential reality, meaning essential, the essence of who we are. Turn on your heart light. Love is the answer here for all involved, but you have to do it for yourselves first. You may think back of a time perhaps when this relationship wasn't so turbulent, or other times where you felt love, whether it was familial. Again, is there anything screaming here, sexual, romantic? The femme fatale and the card of sensuality. Other than that, really not so much. This does not have to be a romantic sexual thing. But even if it's just like, oh, with me just even thinking about snuggling up with my kitty cats upstairs, I have a big king-size bed. They take up most of it for 3 black cats. But I love just even thinking about it. It's such a warm, tender, we all need each other in that moment. Wonderful thing. From that, your vibration raises, you see things differently, just saying. And let's see this differently. Last card down. The Healing Mantra deck. By KAHN, his video Soul Contracts, Twin Flames, and Soulmates Redefined is in the description box down below. Please do check it out. It's what gave me the clarity I needed to really see the difference between Twin Flames and Soulmates, because I never liked the words. Now I'm like, oh, you put that in a litigious context, a contract, a legal context, totally makes sense to me. Cool, which inspired these readings. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask the Ascended Masters of Soul Contracts of the Twin Flames, the one who gave us, the ones, I should say, who gave us the card of manipulation and the card of sensuality. What is the healing mantra that no matter who repeats it, it is going to help them heal and fulfill the contract, keeping in mind, all you need to fulfill your end of a contract of this nature is to survive it. Sometimes it's about walking away and saying, if it's really that toxic, if there's abuse, if anybody's being abused physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, pick up your bed and walk. Get the fuck out. That's hard, but sometimes that's exactly what the contract is. You just got to survive it by any means, right? You do the best you can, everybody is. So what this is for is to give you something to heal what you have to heal, what you need to learn, what you have to love within yourself. One side of the card is the name of the mantra, so I can look it up in the book. The other side is the mantra itself. You'll like what's in the book. It's just a little itty-bitty bit written in there, but very helpful, right? And of course, because it's the last card, will key you into everything that we've talked about here on a subconscious level, at least for a little while. So please, nice deep breath. Still point. My Ascended Masters of Soul Contracts, please, of Twin Flames, Twin Flame Contracts. One card. What is the perfect healing mantra for this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for January, February 2020 and or timeless? We've got a lot going on in this spread here. So please, what is the perfect, most truly helpful healing mantra for this Capricorn Twin Flame contract? Encountering conflict. See, this is a tricky one. They all are. Encountering conflict. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. There's your mantra. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. In other words, I don't have to determine who's right, who's wrong in this. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. I don't choose sides, but I take a stand. Well, a stand for what, you might be asking. This is a really cool card. I think you'll like this. Oh, encountering conflict just opened right to the page. Well, that's why I ask, that's why I pray in between readings and bless the cards, so that I know I'm going in as surrendered as possible, so that the divine can use me. Encountering conflict. I don't choose sides. I take a stand. When conflict is encountered, two opposing viewpoints wrestle for a dominant position. Each hopes to achieve success by changing the other's viewpoint. Yeah, that clicked for a lot of you. I just felt that. If encountering conflict from a conscious standpoint, you may realize one of the greatest gifts you can offer is allowing others to be heard. Right? Don't have to agree with them, but one of the best things that you can do in that situation is just let people be heard. You may not agree with their argument, but you are embracing their needs simply by choosing to listen. When you listen instead of lash out, you are taking a stand for love. So that's what you're taking a stand for, right? I take a stand for love. This is making the decision to anchor higher frequencies of light through the demonstration of your ethics, morals, and values instead of matching the unconsciousness of others with equal amounts of aggression. So look, it feels like, again, very easy for me to lean towards the Divine Feminine Beggar on this, but to say that the Balance card here in the Hierophant is there for the Femme Fatale, this could go either way. That the conversations, I mean, we've got the Five of Cups storm here coming for the Beggar. This could be a very stormy emotional confrontation coming between the two of them. But if you will just remember to, right, not taking sides, but I am going to take a stand, right? What's the mantra again? I don't choose sides, I take a stand. The last little bit on this might be helpful. This mantra is ideal for settling arguments, right? That's setting or settling? Settling, it's got to be, yeah, settling arguments. Unraveling passive-aggressive behavior, your own or somebody else's, well, your own, one would think, and releasing the tendency to blame. Right? Like, blame and unhappiness are linked that way. When you start saying nobody's to blame for my unhappiness, not even me, it's just what's going down, suddenly, as you release blame, the unhappiness withdraws a little bit. It's an amazing phenomenon, that. So an interesting mantra there. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. Let's look at the overview and see what else pops up. Magic clap. We start with the Divine Feminine Beggar archetype. In the shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. Working towards, in this contract, the light attribute confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. The spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem, which feels like is very, very indicated in this spread, considering we've got the angel bringing the healing of celebration. With that reversal card in the past, the Hangman feels very voluntary, coming from a place in this contract of really perhaps taking a pause, hanging out, right? Hitting the stop button for a little bit, just watching, letting go, and seeing things differently, bringing her into this present moment, if one could say, with the Sun card, enlightenment. Now, perpetual spiritual awareness, enlightenment, kind of, or that, oh my God, I get it, things have come out. I can see clearly now the rain is gone, but in what's coming, where she's headed, the Five of Cups, there is the storm. Now, the good thing about a 3-card basic timeline, past, present, future, is that usually you can look at the probability of the future card and at least make adjustments. But, you know, if it's going to rain, it's going to rain. If a storm's coming, a storm's coming. So you protect yourself or prepare yourself from it, or you don't go out, right? Or you avoid it altogether. All of that is free will. This is what's written. How do you want to play it? Feels like it's coming eventually. Jumping over then to the Femme Fatale, the Divine Masculine Femme Fatale. We've got a shadow attribute that says inappropriate use of sensuality, which can certainly be used in a manipulative way. Remember, we've got manipulation and sensuality there at the top. Kind of fits the Femme Fatale MO pretty clearly. Attachment to money and power, and that's a shadow agenda for anyone, anywhere, but in the hands of a fatal female vibration. Really, really, really dangerous and toxic. But this twin flame contract, moving them into the light attribute if they work it, right, highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, highlights it, right, like highlights it, like shows the beauty of it. The best part, when you highlight something, you're really trying to bring out the important, the very best, the finest. Opens your heart when your dependency is rejected, sort of remembering the power of her own sensuality and ability to seduce, even in a divine divine masculine way, which you have to say the femme fatale has a divine masculine part of it, because it takes action, even if it's poisoning, killing, or shooting somebody in the fatal sense. Well, going more with the Matahari there. And looking at his timeline, the Five of Swords, definitely mental conflict, if not arguments. Anyway, I wouldn't go so far as to say mental abuse, not feeling that, but mental manipulation, right? With that above there, that arguing, perhaps bullying, overpowering with words to get what they want, or just using the mind verbally in a way that causes conflict, even as the femme fatale, perhaps for themselves, the conflict of trying to balance this shadow and light. Because what's the healing angel there is balance, like trying to bring this into balance, a more healthy manifestation. And perhaps that's that Page of Pentacles there in the present moment, bringing them a new opportunity, right? An immature one, you know, one that hasn't taken root, but at least is there an opportunity for a new beginning, perhaps, of doing this in a healthy, balanced way. And then that makes sense moving into the Hierophant. If that card is about spirituality and healing and walking the high road, which, you know, you just don't put one foot on the high road and poof, I'm on the high road now. It's like, no, you got to walk it. And that's about bringing your conduct into alignment and congruence with your highest values and your highest truth that you are aware of. And again, going back to that card of manipulation and that card of sensuality, I mean, the Masters pulled those to say that there's probably a very strong magnetic connection between here, perhaps where the Divine Feminine feels like she's been begging for things, maybe has been begging all of her life for this or that. If it's not purely for physical survival, the importance for the need of touch, we can all understand that sensuality of life. Is this romantic sexual? Need not be, but kind of feeling it a little bit when you go in on that angle. So of course, then bringing it down to turn on your heart light, right? Both higher selves say, turn on your heart light. Allow yourself in this moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love. That just that act of tuning into the heart chakra, remembering, reflecting upon a time when you felt love. And that can feel love, that can be love of accomplishment, that can be love of friends, that can be love of food, it can be love of any kind. But to get that heart light on, that heart open, will allow you to encounter conflict with the mantra, I don't choose sides, I take a stand. So nobody here, of course, the one watching the reading will have the option, the free will choice there, to not choose sides but take a stand, to really listen and be fair and walk that high road. The other may not. Regardless, that's a twin flame for you. Whoever this is for, you have the opportunity to heal on a soul level and to fulfill a contract, even if the storm takes the Divine Feminine away and the Hierophant just leads them on a whole other path for the Divine Masculine. And there we have it. A rather complex reading, I would say, considering only 14 cards on the table. That's a lot going on here, and certainly I would want, as ever, let me give the blessing that the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed in their twin flame contracts for January, February 2020. Whatever got them here, wherever they're going, may they be blessed with everything they need to learn, to heal, to love themselves, to give themselves the love that only they can, to weather the storms and do the healing necessary, to take a stand for love without choosing sides, by listening, by allowing each of them to be heard, and to turn on their heart light and keep that light on to the best of their ability, not just for the fulfillment of their twin flame contract, but for the well-being of all concerned. May they be so blessed. And so it is. Thank you so much, my Capricorns. Really mean that blessing for you all. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of, by the way, the new decade, the new year. Go forth, open your hearts. Slow and steady wins the race. And if you need me, I'm here. Reach out. All my info's in the description box below. But for now, my darlings, my Capricorns, my mountain goats, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.